Life of Pi, the quest pattern. A hero is someone who is admired or idolized for their outstanding attributes of courage and bravery. These characteristics can be seen in Pasim Patel as his quest for enlightenment progresses. My thesis statement? In the novel Life of Pi, Yang Martel's character Pasim Patel is modeled after Joseph Campbell's hero's journey by following the phases of departure, initiation, and return. My three supportive arguments. According to Campbell's quest pattern, in the first departure stages, the hero leads an ordinary life that he is not completely content with. Pasim Patel leads this ordinary life besides living in a zoo. Pi feels as if something is missing and attempts to search for answers within three religions. The quest pattern continues to be followed by the stages of initiation, which include the adventures and struggles the hero must endure. For Pi, this involves the misfortunes of spending 227 days on a lifeboat with a Bengal tiger and the basic mental and physical survival of Pi himself. The final stages from Joseph Campbell's quest pattern is return. Pi faces one of the most in-depth challenges here, the refusal of return, departure of Richard Parker, and the mastery of two worlds, two stories with different scenarios, one with animals, one without. The departure stage. In the first stages of departure in the quest pattern, Pasim's ordinary life led to the knowledge and behavioral understanding of animals, which assisted him in his quest for enlightenment, but Pi yearned for something more. Pi's upbringing in the Pondicherry Zoo results in the advanced knowledge of habitats and behavior. This knowledge helps Pi survive the hardship of 227 days on a lifeboat with the Bengal tiger Richard Parker. Being able to identify these behaviors, Pi is capable of identifying himself as the alpha male. Protecting his territory and coexisting with Richard Parker plays a key role in their survival throughout his ordeal. Besides the fact that Pi lives in a zoo, his life is fairly ordinary. Even though Pasim lives with such amazing animals, he yearns for something more and deeper enlightenment. In search for these answers, he studies three religions, which include Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam. But this becomes difficult when people of different faith backgrounds begin to criticize about belonging to all three. Even though Pi had all these people criticize him, he did not let that stop him. A diverse background knowledge of religion helps Pi later on in his 227 days in the Pacific. Pasim Patel's life in India before his call to adventure on the cargo ship allows him to acquire the necessary skills to conquer his heroic journey. Being able to gather knowledge of behavioral aspects of animals and a deeper diverse enlightenment of three religious backgrounds, Pi is able to survive the hardship of his ordeal. The initiation stage. In the second stages of Campbell's heroic journey, the hero is faced with problems and challenges, all while learning the new ways of the new world he lives in. For Pi, this means he must undergo the taming of Richard Parker to ensure his safety, as well as finding food and water while attempting to keep his sanity. A major obstacle that Pi Patel has to overcome after crossing the first threshold is the Bengal tiger, Richard Parker. Not only does Pasim have to catch fish and sea turtles, all while dealing with the elements of nature, he must tame Richard Parker to assure the survival of them both. Pi's father instilled fear into him about tigers, making him watch a goat get viciously killed by a tiger in their zoo. Even with the knowledge his father provides him with, Pi still helps Richard Parker aboard the lifeboat, keeping him alive to tame and train. These acts show how Pi has matured and how he let the courage of a hero overcome his fears. While in the Pacific, Pi's most realistic threatening obstacle was a combination of physical and mental survival. Pi's physiological coping mechanism was to allow his physical struggle with survival take over, being able to forget all he has lost. Pi attempts to focus more on the basic fundamentals of surviving rather than losing his sanity over the tragic loss of his family. After crossing the first threshold, Pi achieves numerous challenges of taming Richard Parker in order to survive in the basic necessities of finding food and fresh water, yet again completing another phase of Joseph Campbell's theory. The return stages. Finally, the stages of return. The hero must complete this stage to come full circle, achieving their quest for enlightenment. Here, Pi must endure the departure of Richard Parker and face the illusions of two stories to be able to return into society. Pi's refusal of return occurs when the Bengal tiger Richard Parker leaves him on the Mexico beach. Pi is distraught by the departure, making it difficult to return back to ordinary life. After Pi comes to the realization that he will never be seeing Richard Parker again, he is finally able to let go and begin to return back into the ordinary world. Yang Martel leaves the interpretation up to the reader by using Joseph Campbell's mastery of two worlds in a particular form, leaving the novel with two different scenarios. The first being the story of Pi and Richard Parker, the Bengal tiger, surviving 227 days on a lifeboat together, or his mom, the cook, and the sailor all surviving the catastrophic cargo ship disaster, but only Pi fully survives the 227 days. By telling the investigators both stories and asking which one they truly believe, Pi was able to let go and cross back into the ordinary world. After completing the final phases of return, Pi has completed his quest for enlightenment. After letting go of Richard Parker and coming clean to the investigators with two stories, Pi is able to move forward. He moves to Canada, finishing his high schooling. He gets his degree in Toronto and starts a family. Conclusion: Pi Patel in Life of Pi is an accurate modern example of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey by achieving the phases of departure, initiation, and return. In the first stages of return, Pi leads his ordinary life of living in a zoo, but soon comes to realize he is missing something and searches for the answers in three religions. In the second stages of initiation, Pi must face the hardship of 227 days in the Pacific with a Bengal tiger, Richard Parker, while also battling the elements of basic survival. In the final stages of Joseph Campbell's quest pattern, Pi struggles with letting go Richard Parker and accepting the true reality of what has really occurred in the Pacific Ocean. Pacine Patel's quest for enlightenment accurately follows the phases of the quest pattern by Joseph Campbell. His heroic features are not prominent in the beginning, but after his call to adventure, they are immensely portrayed. A hero is someone people can look to for guidance and idolize for their outstanding characteristics of courage and bravery.